On the front wheel, I'm using two 10-inch strips, and they mount on the inside, but on the outside of the fender, I can show you on the fender mount between these two rivets, it's almost a straight line back to these two rivets. So on the inside, you'll see them mounted right up in there. You're going to want to make sure you clean it real well and use a little bit of acetone to make sure it's all degreased. So on the front, I also sealed up the end with a little bit of RTV. And on the back, you wrap the wire real tight into that joint between the fender mount and the fender, right along the back of that radius. Gorilla tape holds real well. And then what I'll do is I'll probably seal up any small little voids with a little bit of RTV as well. Okay, at the back of the Trike, I'm going to apply the same type of lighting I did on the front fender. I'm going to apply a 15-inch strip. The front I use 10s, the back I'm going to use 15. And I'll center it about the center of the fender, and I'll run a straight strip horizontally around the inside. And wipe down with acetone, and you can see the strip there on the inside. And then I use the, once again, the Gorilla tape around until I can pick up the existing OEM the tail lights harness, and then it just tie wraps right alongside the brake light cable. 15-inch strip right between the hangers, the muffler hangers. There's a recess right there, which I've gone ahead and put some RTV on the end, and then all the way over to, okay, you can see the other end where the wires attached to the strip right here. That runs past the end of the frame, and I drilled a small hole in the end of the strip. Once it comes past that mount, it runs right along the inside of this skirting here, and it will join with the rest of the wires up along this side of the harness and up to where the battery box is. I like to use is this one here, which illuminates the rear of the engine above the transmission. It mounts in that opening in the frame right above the coils, and there is a small slot. I don't know if you can see it right there. The small slot centered right over that opening. One way to ensure that your transceiver on the unit isn't pulling battery power all the time is to install a switch here between the battery and the fusion transceiver right there. I'll show you. The place I found to locate the switch, right there. Right there, light's shining on it right now. And that is right there, the hole. Okay, you can see that switch mounted now on the inside. There it is right there. Fusion box, which is right here. I just used some 3M heavy duty mounting tape. Nicely. The wires, most of the wires come alongside the factory harness, and then they run right alongside. Once you make all of your connections, I routed them all back, and they drop down behind the battery, so they're all nice and so there's two fuses in this installation. The first fuse is from the battery. From the battery, I ran a fuse block to here. So I put a 10 amp fuse, same fuse size that comes from Fusion. And then from here, it runs to the switch that we installed under here for turning it on and off. So that's that switch. And then it goes from that switch to the factory fuse, which then goes to their transponder and control module. On previous installations, I used to just clip the fuse off of this and fuse between the battery and the switch, but that would void the warranty. So go ahead and turn off the light in the garage. Push the switch. Okay, there we go. You see, you get a real nice even lighting around the engine bay. You've got the two 15-inch strips under the frame rail. You got the 4-inch behind the horn cover. You got the 4-inch tucked above the coils. You got you got a 15-inch right along the inside of the fender. You got a 15-inch across the back. Just another 15-inch here. And then the other 4-inch that balances this side right behind the air filter. The only thing I'm not overly excited about is the front wheel. And it might be the front wheel just really dirty. But compared to the rest of the bike, the tire is just so wide that it gets right up alongside those LEDs. It's just really close. And I think that limits the amount of light that you're able to see off of those strips. Anyways, there you have it.